Hello and welcome to the Cage Fight Podcast. We are here on glorious episode 28, I think. And I still insist on
like
listing the number at the front. So,
I think last episode was 28, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, we've done a few 28s.
yeah, it's cool.
It's a good number, though.
So, as you can hear, Dave is still up there with the soundboards, and I guess going around and introducing ourselves. I'm Jess.
I'm Mike.
I am Taylor.
And we have a super special guest this time, which I know I always say, but I guess I mean it this time. He's a podcasting sex symbol. I hope that's okay to say. And host of American Arts and Culture Review. Rod Berry is here. What's up, Rod?
Hey guys, what's up? I'm just freaking chilling. I'm having a great time. You guys got so many drops on the ready.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely. Are you guys all together?
Yes, we are.
Yeah, we don't. So we live in Wisconsin, so we don't have COVID here.
Yeah, no, that's what the news says. Wisconsin, there's no COVID.
Yeah.
And we literally drive out to the middle of nowhere where there's more deer than people to record this podcast every week.
There's
more COVID than deer.
Well, there's actually
I
no
don't know about
COVID. We
that.
just covered that.
I don't think there's more than anything in Wisconsin than deer. There's more deer than atoms in like molecules in this state.
Yeah. I thought you meant like the Addams family.
Yeah.
There's certainly more
I
deer
think
than that.
both checks out. Yeah.
Yes. I meant more Adam Gontier from 3 Days Grace.
Oh, that's. We don't talk about
That's so
Canadians
impressive that you would know that.
Listen, I am very much of a butt rock and nu metal historian, and I'm not proud of that fact. So
Yeah, let's
not proud of it. You introduced a whole segment about
yes,
it
I
to
did
a podcast.
as the resident Durstorian, Fred Durstorian.
Yeah,
of this podcast.
he is our Fred Durstorian, and I will say that Rod probably lost a lot of credibility there when he said that it was impressive that you knew that, but I think that's fine.
I know everyone kind of expects me to know so much about 3 Days Grace, and I don't even remember what band they are.
Listen, don't make me hate everything about you, okay?
It's just your general vibe, Rod.
That was literally one of the worst references I've ever made, and I apologize to everyone in the audience who had to listen to that. If Jess does not edit this episode.
I'm leaving that in, but
Oh shit, no! All right.
I just remember that one song, "Let's Start a Riot," and then I stopped listening because that's when I realized that they were frickin' Antifa.
yeah,
Yeah,
not cool with that.
those Canadian Antifa
Terrorist
thugs,
criminals.
Yeah. It's been great so far.
This episode, we're going to be discussing the movies The Croods and The Sorcerer's Apprentice, which are two movies that you've actually probably heard of.
They're classics. They made money,
Oh, yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, these ones actually, I'll just get it out front right now. They're both in the black.
Oh, shit.
Well
Ooh.
over budget what they made on these. But
It's
and-
fat
I mean, the
stacks.
Croods even got a sequel.
Yeah, it's sequel coming out, I believe, next month.
Yeah, this is actually timely for
Yeah, this is
for a Nick Cage
accidentally
movie.
accidentally really timely.
So I'll also want to say that this episode is momentous in that we have now covered 50 different Nicolas Cage movies.
Oh my
hell
fucking
yeah.
god.
Wow.
That's too many fucking movies.
That's a disgusting amount of movies just from one person.
And we're only a little bit over halfway.
Oh,
So,
boy.
But to be fair, are we
Wait,
going to be
how
living
big-
on a prayer?
How big is this bracket that you guys made?
82 movies, I believe.
yeah,
82
I think this
movies.
bracket has 82 movies,
Some-
but there
and
have
I-
been about 10 released since
Yes.
we made the bracket. that
There's
we're
been
gonna have to
so
fit
many
in
movies
somehow.
released since then. I accidentally watched one of them for the show, even though it wasn't on the bracket.
Yeah. So some people say that you can't make a bracket with 82 movies. I say if you find a random bracket generator, you can.
Oh, yes.
So
So, without further ado, let's just jump right in, and we'll start with The Sorcerer's Apprentice, because that came out first. But this movie came out in 2010. It was rated PG, directed by John Turteltaub.
fuck yeah,
hmm
the turtle.
This was produced by Disney, Jerry Bruckheimer Films, and Saturn Films.
Yeah.
Oh baby, he
Now,
got
to be fair, the
Saturn
camera work
Films
in this
there.
movie, the fact that it was like direct, like you said, produced by Jerry Bruckheimer,
Yeah.
doesn't surprise me because the camera work in this movie is fucking. We'll get into it. Makes me sick.
I mean, this is like Jerry Bruckheimer. He's like riding high off Pirates, right?
This was 2010, and I think Pirates of the
Yeah.
Caribbean came out like the early 2000s. I know the original one did.
Well, he's certainly still riding high.
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably on cocaine. Let's be honest.
Oh,
on-
last
National Treasure is probably what he's really riding high on.
Oh yeah,
That's true.
the most notable film ever produced. But yeah, it's good to see Saturn Films popping up again. That's Nick Cage's film production company, if you don't remember.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
I had no clue.
Absolute veteran on this show, let me tell you. We've seen so many Saturn films.
Yeah, he really loves Saturn a lot.
Yeah.
He's tried to buy like some of the rings off of the black market.
Yes.
But anyways, this movie had a budget of $150 million and a box office gross of $215 million. So,
Yeah.
you know, as I said,
I think that's considered a light flop because you spend about as much promoting the movie as you do making it.
That's true. And considering we are like kind of backcountry bumpkins, we consider anything like a dollar profit, we consider that a victory. So
Yeah, if I could make $20 off something, that's fucking sick.
to be
Yeah,
fair, like out of the 50 movies we've watched, 30 didn't even make what their budget was. So
Listen,
I call this a win.
if I could save money from going to the dollar store versus Walmart, I consider that a victory. Okay, that's
yeah.
how country bumpkin we are here.
All right.
You,
Okay. I
like,
mean, I'm just
make money off of this or something like.
I'm just letting you know some Hollywood. That's actually kind of a little bit of a flop, but not a huge one.
Yeah,
I'm sure Nick Cage has had much bigger flops than that.
For me,
Oh,
little
yes, he
flop,
has.
little flop just means my belly is still a little bit red, but it doesn't hurt as much.
Little Flop, wasn't that a person on Cash Money Records at one point?
Yeah, little flop.
He released an album and it only sold 60 copies. But
Well, I mean,
To be fair, is still sold better than that was that not Robin Thicke album? Who the fuck?
Robin Zombie.
no, Robin Thicke album. Yeah, that one that sold
Robert
like
Zombie.
The Robin Thicke Zombie, the one that sold 500,000 million copies in a week.
That big ass Dragula record.
Yeah. So this this one got a 40% on Rotten Tomatoes from the critics, 53% from audiences, so slightly more positive.
Definitely a little
on the
lukewarm
audience
reception
end.
there.
Yeah. But that's all I got for general facts. If Mike wants to hit us with the trivia.
I got a little bit of triv. So Johnny Turtleboy, who directed this picture, also directed the National Treasure pictures. So last week we had the writer of National Treasure kicking ass in G-Force, and now we got Turtle Man with the National Treasure direction. So that's pretty hot.
That is.
He also directed Cool Runnings and Las Vegas, which is about a bunch of old guys. Oh, and The Meg, which is about a bunch of old shark.
What?
Oh, I'm looking at this. He directed Three Ninjas.
Oh yeah, Three Ninjas, which is of course about I think three little kids whose like uncle is a ninja master or something.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Yeah, you know how sometimes you spend your summer vacation with your ninja uncle and then you become three ninjas.
Yeah.
It happens.
Wow. You know what? While I was vacationing with my drunk uncle, you guys were vacationing with your ninja uncle. Talk about fucking class privilege over here.
Yeah.
Seriously.
So this is for my numbers guys out there who are measuring how many potato flakes were used in the movie Trapped in Paradise. Half a ton of confetti was used in the Chinatown sequence
Half a ton.
in this movie. So
Why didn't they just use the potato flakes and color them?
yeah, you just spray the potato flakes.
Yeah,
Uh,
we know
I
from
think-
previous episodes that you bought a bunch of potatoes to make potato flakes. We could just donated some of them.
Yeah, I should apologize to that guy for not calling him back and then
And
like
you know
not
they're
bleeping out his name.
biodegradable, less wasteful.
You know that guy cried himself to sleep for the rest of like.
Yeah, I
that
pretty much
night, right?
fucking owned.
You ghosted him,
potato
dude.
salesman. This is that kind of show. So the idea for this film was largely Nicolas Cage's, as he wanted to explore a mystic world with a magical character. And so he said, fucking, have you seen Fantasia? What if we got Jay Baruchel as Mickey Mouse?
Yeah. And he's like, listen, I want to look exactly like my character in a future movie, Season of the Witch and Outcast. They haven't been cast yet, but I want to look exactly like that character.
Yeah.
I gotta say, great casting. A lot of people in the Amazon reviews, they pretty much said I would have liked this movie if it wasn't for Jay Baruchel, but who else are you going to get to play Mickey Mouse?
It's
really?
true. I mean, he's got the
it's
look.
Nicolas Cage. Why not?
It is curious to me that you would make a movie about a sorcerer's apprentice and have Jay Baruchel as like a 30-year-old man.
Yeah. Well, they show him as like a toddler, like
They
10
do
years
show
ago?
him as a 10-year-old.
Yeah. And of course, they have to show New York 1 year before 9/11 because they had a little bit extra like effects budget.
Yeah. Decided to CGI in some
We've seen
towers.
so many movies that are set like a year before 9/11 on the show in New York City. It's not even funny.
And a lot of them right around our World Trade Center episode too, which is great.
That is true. What else do I got here? 2 posters in Drake Stone's apartment are actually advertisements for Magic the Gathering.
I did see that.
Yeah, I noticed that, and I wasn't sure if, like, is this a magician who just really likes Magic the Gathering, or are they trying to trick me into thinking that, like, this is the name of his...
Well, looking at one of them, there was I'm not enough of a geek to know all the characters in Magic the Gathering, but the character on the poster looked exactly like him. So I wonder if I don't know.
He's not the type of magician that you think. He just is really good at Magic the Gathering.
I mean, to me, that's the same as Magic. I look at those cards, I don't understand it for 1 second.
I mean, that's true. It takes a pretty high IQ to be a Magic the Gathering player.
I mean, let's be honest though, it takes the highest IQ to play Yu-Gi-Oh.
That's true.
And to really understand the
Yeah.
anime, you got to be like super genius level.
Yeah, super genius level and like a puss hound.
Absolutely.
Helps.
Yeah, absolutely. That is true.
I mean, it was a plot point in the show that Yugi just fucking like just drilled Taya every episode.
Is this Yugi or is this Yami Yugi?
More, I mean, Yami Yugi. I mean, because that guy had the
Okay,
drip.
okay.
Let's be honest, and he made the ladies drip. So
I mean, I'll take either one. I got fucking plenty of ends to fill, baby. So, in the early morning hours of May 4th, 2009, a Ferrari F430 being driven during the filming of the chase sequence lost control and careened into the window of a Sbarro restaurant. In Times Square, no less, injuring 2 pedestrians.
did anyone like get hurt?
2 pedestrians were injured, and then when filming resumed the following night, there was another car accident.
Holy shit.
And so I just made a note of add this one to the Cage body count because I think some people are dead. This is like a Twilight Zone situation.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah, it
wow.
felt like those kids that got decapitated from the helicopter that crashed.
Yeah, but instead of like getting decapitated by a helicopter, they got squished in a Sbarro.
Now, to be fair,
building.
do we know if that guy got driving lessons from Nick Cage? Because we all know that he's taken
No.
many driving lessons.
So if he had gotten fucking driving lessons from Nick Cage, he wouldn't have probably killed somebody. So
Yeah. Why didn't they have Nick Cage do it, really? I mean, he's got the skills. We learned that from Gone in 60 Seconds. But
yeah, he knows how to drive, and he went to sorcery school for this movie.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Learned a bunch of spells and shit. Played like
Learned how to
Skyrim.
play Magic the Gathering.
They were in the fucking the trailer. Their trailers. They were playing Magic the Gathering whenever they weren't filming.
Mhm.
So Nicolas
Yeah.
Cage basically.
Nick and Jay just playing Magic the Gathering all day.
Jay Baruchel's like, oh, why don't I call my friend Seth Rogen? Ho ho. That's all I got for trivia. Although I did, so in the IMDb trivia, there was one that I found interesting, but I didn't take note of, but I haven't been able to stop thinking about it. So the character Horvath is a Hungarian word that means Croatian.
Okay.
I've heard the name before, but I didn't know what the fuck that meant.
So yeah, Doc Ock was a Hungarian Croatian dude,
Yeah.
which is pretty cool.
And we'll talk about Alfred Molina once we get to the synopsis, because I have a lot to say about Alfred Molina.
Well, yeah. Speaking of the synopsis, I'm gonna jump into that now.
Yeah, pretty much tapped out. So
So we begin with like a little story that this starts out, and apparently Merlin had 3 apprentices: Balthazar, who was played by Nicolas Cage, Veronica, and Horvath, who
Veronica? Okay.
Her name's just Veronica. I mean, do you really need to know more than that?
Okay, it was Veronica Gore-Loyson or something. I don't know.
One of those
but most of the
cool-
movie, they just call her Veronica.
I think it was Veronica Mars, to be specific.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's very funny. It's just such a plain name for
yeah.
Balthazar and Horvath.
Should have been
Oh,
like
and Veronica.
Well, to be fair, just like Hollywood, they had an underdeveloped female character. So of course they couldn't give her that interesting of a name.
Yeah, they at least changed her. It was originally going to be like Balthazar, Horvath, and Jenny. They were like, let's fuck. I guess we'll spice it up a little bit. What's an Archie character we could snag?
Anyways, apparently Horvath betrayed Merlin by teaming up with Morgana Le Fay and killed Merlin. And then Veronica like sucked Morgana into her body with some sort of soul binding, but Morgana began to destroy Veronica from the inside. And Cage stopped this whole process by trapping them in a Russian nesting doll. Then Merlin gave Cage a dragon pendant that will help identify Merlin's successor, who is the only one who can defeat Morgana. And until then, Morgana must remain trapped in the nesting doll, which is called like the Grimhold or some shit. And then apparently Cage is like immortal and just searches through the ages for a successor, but doesn't find one until the year 2000, where we begin with the song The Middle by Jimmy Eat World playing.
Hell yeah.
That's absolutely sick.
It is really sick. And it's over a montage of 10-year-old Dave, not our Dave, though I believe this Dave also likes Jimmy Eat World.
No, the Dave with the little mouse ears and the fucking...
Yeah, a little Mickey Mouse.
What?
Dave,
this is Baby J.
Baby J.
Baby J Mickey Mouse. Dave.
Yes. If they could have made it more complicated, but they decided not to, so...
But yes, and we see he's like flirting with a classmate. She writes him a note, but before he can read it, it blows away into the wind. And chasing after it leads him to a bookstore run by Nicolas Cage, who sees this kid and was like, "Hey, why don't you try out this ring?" Like immediately.
Like, I mean, you look pretty cool. Try this thing on real quick.
Yeah.
You can tell it was a very Hollywood producer moment there.
Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, this is how I talk to kids all the time. So it's fucking.
Hey, kid, come into my creepy dark shop and try something on real quick. That's basically the kind of energy we got going on here.
Yeah, Bryan Singer had a hand in writing this, but
I think Dan Schneider was in the background too.
Yeah, somewhere around there. So he gives the ring to Dave, which like immediately like. Okay, he gives the ring to Mini Jay Baruchel, which now like bonds with him and shows that he is the successor of Merlin. And Cage is like, "All right, this is awesome. Don't touch anything. I'm gonna go get something." And the first thing Dave does is open the nesting doll.
No.
Yeah, because
oh my god,
I mean,
classic.
Yeah. How do you not touch the most cursed thing in the room?
Yeah.
Soon as
when I see a nesting doll, I do have to open it.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see the smallest doll as quickly as I can.
That's true, but he kind of gets like one doll in and then doesn't really give a fuck because Alfred Molina appears and he's made out of bugs.
Yeah. And like, oh shit, you're Doc Ock from Spider-Man 2! And they just kind of geek out for a little bit.
Yeah, it's a real fanboy moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was a little confused by why like he appeared as like cockroaches. Like that was never touched again. There was no connection to bugs anywhere else.
He's just supernatural. Why do you need an explanation? Is my question.
I was hoping it was going to be like the Mummy situation where the bugs like crawled under the kid's skin and then he died.
Yeah. Gets mummified by these scarabs.
Yeah. End of movie.
Would have been a nice
Apprentice.
Then it's just your guy Balthazar. He's fighting him, and that's actually a much cooler thing.
Yeah, I mean, who gives a shit about this dumb kid?
Yeah.
He got eaten by bugs.
So, yeah, the bad guy that comes out of the thing is Horvath, the one we heard about from the story that had betrayed Merlin, and he and Cage start fighting pretty much immediately until Cage grabs him and pulls him into, like, a sand pot. I don't really know how to describe it exactly, but they turn into sand and end up in the pot.
Yeah, it's funny because so they get like absorbed into this vase, and so naturally their like faces are painted on the side of it.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, nobody's like walking past his vase and being like, "Hey, why is Nicolas Cage painted on that thing?"
Yeah.
I mean, it's Nicolas Cage. Why not?
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it's Nicolas Cage. Why not?
We're gonna have to cut that one.
From the soundboard.
I didn't consent to being in the soundboard.
Oh, I'm sorry. Actually, in the episode I took that clip from, I believe you said we're going to use that as a tagline.
Well, it's Nicolas Cage. So why not?
But so mini Jay Baruchel, who is Dave, forget about our Dave for now.
Little Mickey
Um,
Dave.
He walks out and his class is there and he's like, look, the wizard's inside, and they look inside and there's nothing in there, and they all think he's lame and he peed his pants because he's a little baby piss boy.
He doesn't have Billy Madison there to frickin' pee his pants too, so he looks like a real jackass.
So, flash to the future. It's 10 years later. It's 2010, and Dave is played by Jay Baruchel finally.
What?
So I'll start saying that so I can
You
stop
know,
hearing Dave go
I
on.
wasn't like aware of the actor, but no shit for like 2 seconds. I'm like, wait, is that Nathan Fielder?
God.
So in my notes, I call him Nathan Fielder because I didn't remember the character's name.
Definitely should have been.
Baruchel, he runs into Becky, that girl who he traded notes with all those years ago, and he's like all excited to see her. Apparently, he's like a physics TA or something, even though he's 20. I don't understand it. Usually, you have to be in grad school.
Well, I mean, he's such a big fucking nerd, as we saw earlier. Maybe he.
Well, and he's also, I mean, he's going to be the next Merlin or whatever.
Yeah, he's
Oh, that's
MJ.
true.
He's MJ. Merlin
Yeah, he's
Jr.
the prime Merlinian.
So
Yeah.
he's like actually pretty good at physics because of that.
Oh, yeah. I forgot that is mentioned later in the movie. Like, literally, it's like your brain is like bigger. Their explanation for how sorcery works in this movie is that most people use 10% of their brain.
It's
but
literally that
Yes, Lucy.
movie.
Yes, Lucy.
yeah, it's
yeah.
that Lucy movie. And that may sound like a joke, but it's not. That's legitimately in this.
Morgan
I feel
Freeman
like
strolled
that's-
in.
I'm sorry.
That's like the explanation for so many movies. It's like, oh, this, like, isn't that how Limitless works?
You're unlocking
He takes
your
the pill and
untapped
he can
potential.
unlock. Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't
It's-
seen Limitless, but it is such a weird trope to build a movie on because I feel like everybody knows that as like a common misconception. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But-
It's like having a movie where the entire basis is that your blood is blue before it hits the air.
Yeah. So Becky is working at a college radio station. They do some like flirty stuff a little bit, but Baruchel is bad at it. But
Yeah,
we
you know,
also
Now, why is this
he-
nerd? He's got to play some more Magic the Gathering so he can fucking smash that puss.
Yeah, for whatever reason, he kind of looks like the guy that would complain on incel forums.
He's
Kind of
a-
acts like it too. Let's be honest.
then we see that Horvath and Nicolas Cage have broken out of their pot finally, and they put down the pipe for a minute and got back to
After 10 years of intense fighting in the pot.
I mean, he must have been so high.
Yeah.
Must have been.
breaking out of my pot, now I'm feeling just fine.
Coming out of the pot.
Best I could do. So.
Anyways, so like Horvath immediately goes out and tries to kill like Jay Baruchel and get him to give him the nesting doll. But luckily Nicolas Cage shows up on a flying metal bird and saves him. And he tells Dave like that the nesting doll holds many different bad wizards in its layers, and also explains the thing about sorcerers using their whole brain.
So is it like the baddest wizard? Is it like in the smallest one? So as long as you don't get all the way to the middle, you'd be like, okay.
Yeah. So it's like it's kind of like an ogre or an onion. Where there are layers, and the deeper in you go, the worse it gets. But they go to Chinatown to get the nesting doll, the Grimhold.
But all they find is half a ton of confetti.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah, that fun fact that Mike had. It's a great callback right there.
The Grimhold is such a bad name for a thing.
It really
is. There's a lot of names in this movie where I'm just like, that you could have done better. Like, it's,
That's absolutely like the first take. That's just like, yeah, Grimhold works.
We could punch this up.
Or the
but
first
we
take was
choose
probably
not
Bad
to.
Hold.
Evidently, Horvath has gotten to the nesting doll first and already opened the first layer of the Grimhold, releasing another bad guy.
Yes,
And,
as I call a shirtless stereotype man.
Yep, shirtless stereotype man who was apparently captured in like 4th century China.
And of course, he has to like spawn in Chinatown. 'Cause that's
Yes.
nothing wrong with that, Disney.
So Cage gets the Grimhold from Horvath before he can open another layer, traps Balthazar in some ropes. Or, sorry, traps Horvath in some ropes. Cage is Balthazar.
Yeah, he traps Horvath in some blasted ropes.
Yeah,
right?
he's shooting some ropes all over Horvath.
Blasting ropes, cool.
You know, honestly, and quick aside here. Horvath sounds like Horbath, and every time, like, it just sounds like Horbath to me. Like, it doesn't sound.
I was watching this with my roommate, and I thought it was Horbath at first, so I kept making jokes like, "Hey, isn't that what they call it when your mom gets in the tub?" and stuff like that. But then it turns out that she's actually a really sweet lady. So
Okay. So those jokes were a little off base. But yeah, Cage pretty much immediately defeats the other bad guy. And they go off and try to teach Jay Baruchel some magic. And he learns a little bit, but he's pretty distracted by all those lovey-dovey feelings he has for Becky.
yeah, he's like, "Sweet, I want to learn magic, so now I can fuck."
Of course, her name has to be Becky too. By the way, talk about some real incel energy of this movie.
Yeah, oh my god, yes. If only he was named... Or Nicolas Cage was named Chad or something. I don't know. But
We got Veronica's already, so
Chad Balthazar. He does end up using his magic a little bit to help him when Becky gets mugged, and he runs after the mugger and like beats him up with magic to get the purse back. And she doesn't see the magic going on, but she's like super happy he got her purse.
I think we should mention too. I think it's kind of cool to have a movie where the main hero has to essentially commit a hate crime to get his possessions back. For
It
his,
is always good.
Fake girlfriend.
yeah.
Once again, not incel energy of this movie at all.
He really went all Bruce Willis in the Death Wish remake.
He went Nick Cage in Rage.
Yeah, same energy.
So, like, Cage is super angry about Baruchel's meetings with Becky because he's saying, like, love is a distraction and magic is the way.
Yeah, he's just saying like, yo, you gotta be confident, bro. Like, what the fuck?
Gotta stop blasting all your magic away.
Meanwhile, Horvath is finding a goon to help him defeat Cage and Baruchel, who is apparently like a Chris Angel style like show magician. Who we talked about already. He spends most of his time playing Magic the Gathering, and
Yeah, it's I put him in my notes as a metrosexual fancy lad.
So that's what he's up to. Then we see a little more like scenes with Jay and Becky. They're like flirting. He plays music on some Tesla coils from her, being like, "Before all I saw was physics, but now I see the music in life, and I am lit up by your
God.
beauty."
Yes, and what we do need to understand too is like that beautiful music is One Republic.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yes,
he's like,
it
"Hey,
is
what if-
One Republic."
What if
And
I
he-
use my fucking magic to play One Republic for you?
Yeah, and
She drives right up.
and she's just like, "Wow, you were listening last night to my underground EDM
You know, I was
bands.
honestly
It's
thinking
so
about that. Like,
cool."
underground music radio station loves playing One Republic.
They use this song a lot
Yeah.
too.
That's
But,
I mean, just you didn't have to give all that secret away. You didn't have to. You could have not spoiled that.
hmm Yeah, it is the song "Secrets" for the record. Don't look it up.
It's just really boring.
Yeah.
I'd rather have fucking One Republic than Imagine Dragons, though.
True.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, Imagine Dragons I don't think was around yet, but it would have been pretty fucking cool.
To be fair, sadly,
dude.
haven't been around yet.
2010 is pretty early for the Imagine Dragons type band.
Yeah.
That'd be like, I'm trying to think.
I mean, literally, I think One
I think
Republic
that
did kind of take
Sales
that
song
place,
by
though.
AWOL Nation had come out, which is kind
Oh,
of
yeah.
that same vein. I feel like.
AWOL Nation, never forget, dude.
I feel like the first song, maybe like "Pumped Up Kicks" is like the song that I remember that like the pop rock song that really started a new thing. That was not for me.
Mm.
Yeah, that was the beginning of the end of music, really.
Oh, I wouldn't say that. It's just
I mean,
yeah,
gotta-
I agree. It certainly opened up the world to all the Portugal the Mans that we have now.
Yes,
I mean,
that is
you know,
true.
the golden age of music that was started by nu metal ended by this era. So.
Yes,
yeah, that is true. New metal had a short run, but it was very important.
Oh, objectively, yes.
Yeah, and of course, our resident Fred Durst-storian is gonna agree with that. Um,
So, after a couple more encounters between Mickey Mouse Man and Horvath and Chris Angel, Cage decides to tell him the full truth of what's going on. That he is the prime Merlinian, as they call him, and is the one destined to save.
he says it with a straight face too, which is pretty. That's you
It's
can tell how
impressive.
powerful he is.
I could not type that out in my notes either without it trying to change it to prime meridian.
Yep, that's what I
every
was thinking
time,
too.
constantly.
And I honestly
I
thought that's
get
what
it.
they said at first, and I'm like, what? Oh, like Merlin, the wizard. Oh, okay. I'm like, that's really stupid.
Merlin definitely came up with that, and I think that's actually really cool of him.
Yeah, I mean, he came up with that and then decided to call himself Merlin.
Yeah.
Just like this sounds cool, but means nothing currently.
But it will. Mickey Mouse is pretty distressed to hear the fact that he's the coming of a prophecy and has all this big shit he's got to do to defeat this big wizard called Morgana Le Fay. And so he's like, hey, I need a break again, even though we haven't really learned anything at all. And I'm going to like meet up with Becky. And she's coming over. He's got to clean the lab. And he recreates that scene from Fantasia with the brooms and shit.
Yeah, they're like, we could make this the entire movie, but
He's cleaning up the lab with a spell where he animates mops and brooms, and they go overboard predictably. And Becky arrives when he's trying to stop them, and he fucks up telling her that it's not a good time. And he thinks he has ruined his potential relationship there. But luckily, Cage shows up, fixes the mess, and Jay talks things out with Becky, and things are good.
freaking blasts all over again.
At this point, you might be a little bit confused because I think I'm alternating between calling him Dave, Jay, and Mickey Mouse, but know that they're all the same person.
Why don't you call him Nathan Fielder like I did?
Yeah, there you go. So, evidently, Horvath, like Jedi mind tricked the school administration into showing him all the information on Nathan Fielder. He finds the sorcery practice location, busts in on it, steals the Grim Hold, and in the process reveals that he did all this because he's a sad incel that got mad that Veronica chose Cage over him. There's a lot of incelery.
I was going to say some real incel energy in this movie. I'm glad I was right.
Wait, incelery.
I mean,
the lamest.
He could definitely be using his magic to fuck, but instead he's just upset for over 1,000 years.
Yeah, holding a serious grudge.
Very cool.
That's like the NoFap record at this point.
It's like, listen, they only like those Becky. Wait, there is a Becky in this movie.
Just do what I did. Stop watching porn, cold turkey, trap yourself in a vase for 1,000 years.
Yeah.
Take cold showers.
I've become a real monk and a wizard, literally.
Yeah.
For all our listeners, wizard is a person who's not jacked off in a significant amount of time. That's what they call no-fap.
Yeah.
Like no-fap members who do that.
Yeah.
So that, I mean, to be fair, in this movie, most of the wizards have not jacked off in a long time, it seems like.
Yeah, that's why
A lot of them are pretty angry.
their beards are so like big and white because it has to like find somewhere else to manifest or whatever.
They're old. They're kind of smart, but they are full of cum, and it just has to come out of their pores somewhere.
Yeah, they're not
their
young,
beard.
dumb, and full of cum. They're like old, decrepit, full of cum.
So,
Yeah.
Cage and Baruchel chase after them, and there's a car chase where they like are able to turn their cars into different vehicles the whole time. Like,
Yeah, but they're not able to warn the innocent
bystanders.
bystanders at the Sabaro restaurant.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
like, I thought this was a pretty cool scene, actually, probably the best scene of the movie. But now that I found out that like several innocent strangers got injured in the making of it, it taints it a little bit.
Now, my
But,
question is, was it like a stunt gone wrong, or some guys were like, I'm just going to drive really fast?
He's one of those guys who he like drives better drunk, but he like went one step too far. I think
Yeah, one too many. That's it.
He was just a hot couch guy who owned a Ferrari. Is that what's going on?
exactly. So you got to be careful with that kind of thing.
So Horvath gets away in the car chase, and apparently he needs like extra wizard energy to open up the next layers of this Grimhold. And he does that by killing Chris Angel, Magic the Gathering dude, and using his ring to open up the next layer, which reveals the baddie Abigail Williams, who's a real person from the Salem witch trials. But she basically
Way
goes
to
out.
name drop, guys. Seriously.
Oh yeah,
That's honestly so cool to bring up the Salem witch trials, a thing where 20 people were murdered for being a fake thing.
Yeah. Honestly, they
Isn't
should have
that
brought
great?
Giles Corey
Is
out
that
to be like, yeah, this is bullshit.
Those are the legends that we have based our entire lore off of.
Yeah.
I'm talking about legends over here. Fucking Salem witch trial, the accusers. Some real fucking legends over here.
Yeah, and if maybe my freaking ex-wife was a freaking witch.
I
I don't know.
You know who's a witch? My goddamn wife.
That's
I hate my freaking wife.
That's definitely an Amazon review for this somewhere. We're like, my wife made me rent this, so I burned her at the stake.
You know, I will say as an aside, there is not that much boomer energy in the Amazon reviews usually, which I kind of like.
Yeah, I found some though. So.
Oh yes, yes.
So Abigail Williams, being released, goes out and captures Becky, and then she's like, "All right, Horvath, I got her. What do I do now?" And he's like, "You die, so I can open the next layer." She is literally in this movie for probably 30 seconds. I don't know why I mentioned her even.
And she's also a child.
But
So they
yeah, she
murdered
is
a child.
Yeah.
He did murder a child, and
Deserved it, but still.
he drains her power, and he's like, "All right, the last layer. I just need Merlin's ring to open this up." So he holds Becky hostage and gets Baruchel to give him Merlin's ring, and then runs off with the Grimhold, now with enough power to open it and release Morgana. But he's got to do it in Central Park for some reason. It's just a place to do it.
It has the most magical energy in New York, I imagine.
Yeah, it's
true.
from like all the John Lennon ashes and stuff that they got in there.
Okay, so a quick aside on that. There's one scene in the movie, I think it was Nick Cage, didn't he literally walk through the gateway where John Lennon got fucking murdered?
Probably, yeah.
There's like a part where they walk through like a lobby that looks like the entrance of like an apartment building. I swear to God, that's where John Lennon was assassinated. It looked exactly
the
the same.
old Dakota.
That's where it was, yeah.
And freaking, if you look closely, Yoko Ono's in the window, just like laughing her ass off.
Well, she knows she's doing the wow wow kind of, fucking thing. For avant-garde beautiful art, I've been told.
I've been told, yeah.
But so ringless Baruchel is useless. So Cage goes off to stop Horvath from releasing Morgana, and Baruchel explains the whole situation to Becky, who's just been dragged into this by her being hostage, and she's like, "Well, since I'm here, I'm gonna help you out." And Baruchel concocts a crazy scheme to strap a giant Tesla coil to the front of his car and use it to go zap Horvath.
Yes, was it strap a giant Tesla coil around their Tesla, right? That's when the
Yeah,
Teslas first started
Yeah,
coming
I
out?
think that's where the idea came from.
Yes.
They're just like bumping skillet from the fucking Tesla coil on the car. So what's the butt rockiest, lamest thing I could play for you?
Because I feel like a wizard. I'm sorry, I know that reference too, by the way. It's very sad.
But anyways,
It's not hot, you're right.
Horvath frees Morgana, and she begins to raise all sorts of dead sorcerers around the world. And Cage and Horvath duke it out, but Baruchel shows up just in time to zap Horvath with his Tesla. And Becky manages to disrupt Morgana's power by like turning a satellite that she's using to amplify her energy. I could have gone a lot more in depth into this, but you're just gonna have to live with that.
I mean, this all
explanation.
sounds like it makes perfect sense. It's really easy to understand.
Yeah, it's one of the things that they were really striving for in this movie was to not make it super convoluted. And I think they succeeded at that.
I think they did too. It just involves a plan to like bring all sorcerers back to life to do something.
Yeah.
We all know you bring all the sorcerers back to life. You use a satellite to magnify your magic power. This all makes sense.
Yeah.
It checks out.
Step 3,
Easy
question
to
mark.
understand.
Step 4, profit. It's just how it works.
Wizards conduct electricity, so you can zap them with a big Tesla coil.
You know what?
It's all a big thing.
You know what? I don't want to listen to no scientists. Fucking wizards. How do they work?
This stuff all easily checks out.
Morgana's like all pissed that her plan's being thwarted, so she attacks Baruchel and Cage. But Baruchel realizes he can still use magic without the ring because he's the big special boy. He's
Well, he's of course the prime Merlinian. We all know
Yes,
that.
the prime Merlinian.
Yeah, don't get it twisted.
Yeah. And he just blasts Morgana into dust. But he turns to find that Morgana had killed Nicolas Cage.
I was starting
And-
to cry because, and this is another big thing about Nick Cage movies. He always fucking dies, so I
Mhm.
expected him to honestly die.
Yeah, and it breaks my heart still every time.
It is really, really trying on the soul to see.
It's
our
like watching
favorite
your
person.
father die over and over and over again.
It's tough. It's really tough.
My
to see him
sexy
die.
father die.
Don't worry. In this one, Baruchel's like, "Hey, if she can like stop his heart, maybe I can start it again." And he does.
Yeah,
And
she's gotta kickstart his heart.
back.
Yeah. In the 80s version of this movie, we would have had a pretty solid and fitting soundtrack. But
So Cage is alive. He's with Veronica now, who is normal because Morgana's not in her. I know I only mentioned that at the very beginning of the movie, and I'm mentioning it again now because like it's really not relevant very often.
Right. I
Uh,
mean, it's a perfect thing that I love in every movie is when there's just like a woman to win as a trophy.
Yes,
That's like one of my favorite things.
it's it's really the backbone of good storytelling.
Yes,
Yeah,
like
it's
sometimes
some
also the
people try
backbone
to
of a
do
lot
this
of
like
Nick Cage movies.
this hero's journey shit or like the 3-act structure, and no, it's woman trophy.
sometimes it's hard to communicate to the audience, what your end goal is. And so if there's some, big milky titted lady.
I mean, to be fair, talk about trophy woman. You would be a very lovely trophy wife one day, Jess.
Well, thank you, I guess, but
Yeah, I'd kill a demon for you or whatever.
okay.
I'd frankly walk 500 miles and maybe even 500 more.
Oh,
From that song.
Well, romantic.
very romantic, but I'm not taking new suitors at this time. This so it's the end of the movie. It's good times. Evil is vanquished.
And don't
Happily
forget
ever after the end.
The movie ends with once again that One Republic song playing for the third fucking time.
Yeah, they really love that song. Not on the soundtrack though.
They also at one point in the movie they recreated. I think you mentioned it, but they recreated it using the Tesla coils.
Yes, yeah. I don't know if I mentioned specifically that they played that on the Tesla coils, but that is one.
What a
Along
waste!
with
What a waste of
Superstition
some
by
like
Stevie
very
Wonder.
of a resource. Like it's like we have this amazing thing. We're going to use it to recreate like boring 2010s fucking radio rock. Not even radio pop, more like.
I mean,
and-
they did play Superstition, and that's a jam. I gotta say. I don't know.
Yeah, that's
mean,
a
it's-
jam. But they should have played fucking "Don't Stop Believin'," bro.
But that's the whole movie.
There's a-
What's everybody's thoughts on this?
There's a post-credit scene also.
Oh, I
that-
missed that.
Oh, is there?
where it implies that Horvath is still alive and he gets the Mickey Mouse hat from Balthazar's shop.
Like, you fucking asshole! Like I really. Oh wait, that did happen. You're right. That really did happen.
It did happen.
That's crazy.
Oh, I
Uh,
totally missed that. Wait, did he really grab a Mickey Mouse hat?
Well, I actually didn't see the scene either, but I did read someone say that the hat that he grabs, I think, is supposed to be the.
It's not the Mickey Mouse ears, right?
I think it's the hat from Fantasia with the.
It's
Oh.
the big blue hat.
Okay.
Yeah,
No, the reason I didn't see that is because the tour. I mean the copy that I bought ended when the credits began. So
I got the same copy.
yeah, the same copy from a very reputable source. From I mean Best Buy. God,
Yeah, you have to go to Best Buy, buy the best DVDs.
yes. Specifically DVD. Blu-ray. I don't fuck with Blu-ray, dude.
yeah,
Yeah,
And Best Buy is one of my favorite stores to just waltz in without a mask and just kind of browse for a few hours. so.
But yeah, what did everybody think of this one?
It's okay. I really don't have that many like significant feelings about it. I will say it was kind of cool seeing an early appearance from Nathan Fielder, but that's really the only like memorable thing about this movie for me.
Yeah, it was fine. It was like there was not enough songs in it. Should have been more songs. That's about it.
I think they should have had more, once again, new metal and like, fucking butt rock songs in this movie. It would have made it much better.
If you're gonna freaking get One Republic on the bill, why aren't you gonna put that "Too Late to Apologize" song? That shit rules, dude. Too late to turn brown.
It's
Hell.
too late. It's too late to bring back Nick Cage after he let him die because he didn't revive him. So.
But yeah, I mean, if they were gonna run with any song that was in it, I think they should have ran with the Jimmy Eat World song. Personally,
Just over and over again.
yes.
Oh my god, that would be that's like a tough sell for me. I mean, I love that song, but I don't know how many times I could hear it in a movie
Well, I mean,
without like just without being like taken out of it.
it's.
I want to have
I mean,
like a
true.
big budget movie that was just so cheap they could only license one song, and that's the song. I want to see a movie like that.
What if it's different parts of the song just like dispersed out in the movie?
It's lyrically relevant, though. It just takes some time.
Little girl.
It does.
You're in the middle of the ride, but in the end, everything will be just fine, and you'll get the girl, and Cage will get random woman.
We'll also get the girl that we all remember from the very beginning of the movie.
Yes.
Now, to be fair, once again, incel energy, Nick Cage just wants a woman. Wants a woman to control and, I mean, be in a relationship with because he cares about her a lot.
Yeah, he's pro-choice, as in he wants to choose his woman and then choose how she lives.
I thought this was like a solid movie. It wasn't like great.
It's a movie that I frankly won't remember like 3 days from now.
Yeah, it wasn't terrible either. It had some cool action scenes.
By the grace of God, I won't remember this 3 days from now.
I mean, it's like fine, but I do feel like I could have definitely liked it more. There's like a lot of stuff in it that is like the stupid shit that I like.
Mm-hmm.
But it just like I don't know.
I mean, it just kind of falls flat in a lot of areas, and I don't know. It's one of those movies where it's very apparent that like 10 guys got in a room and were constantly rewriting the script over and over again, and it was like being handed to somebody else, and it's kind of a mess in that regard.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm looking at this. There's 3 people screenplay by, and then story by three basically different people.
Oh yeah.
Which means that a lot of people really worked on this.
Yeah, it's sometimes you get a script that's so good that you just want to, just take another pass at it.
And you just keep passing it to different writers, different writing teams to hope they get it right.
Yeah, and it can only get better from there.
Exactly.
So
yeah.
Another thing that happened in this movie is I get kind of annoyed when movies try to explain things like magic with science, because like science is it just takes me out of the movie.
Yeah,
you don't need
science
to try
is
and
fake and
explain
magic is real. So
exactly,
that's true. Yeah, that's true. I mean, the science of wearing masks is kind of out, but the magic of not wearing masks, it's absolutely a fucking thing.
But yeah, I just say just let magic be magic. Don't try to explain it, because like I actually know a thing or two about science, so it just takes me out. I'm a pretentious bitch.
And
yes,
don't try to trick me into thinking that Magic the Gathering is some fucking dog and pony show when I know it's actually a really complex game that I'm really good at.
And that's the thing. I mean, Jess knows a lot of weird facts about science, and she also wrote the song "Weird Science" by Oingo Boingo.
Yes, I did. But
and also the movie Weird Science.
I forget. This is also I'm actually not a big fan of Jay Baruchel as like a leading actor, and
That's
this was
so
like
crazy.
the time. This is a time when they really were trying to figure out how to make him a lead actor in things.
Yeah.
You guys keep mentioning his name. I've never heard of this person, which is amazing to me.
He's that little twerp and Knocked Up, and
he's in This Is the End. He's
Man Seeking Woman, which is essentially this movie, but with like hallucinations.
Honestly, depressing factoid. I've never seen any of those movies.
He truly is only good as a little twerp. That's like his best role.
Yeah.
He's in the movie Goon. He's good in that. And he's just like a little like creepy little twerp, and he's great.
Yeah, exactly. He's like Seth Rogen's tired friend is how I would describe him.
yeah.
Just looks tired.
Yeah. And to like make him the lead of your big action movie, oof.
Yeah,
That's
definitely a swing and a miss
for me.
I mean, definitely Michael Cera would play a better, more like believable swashbuckling hero than this guy.
It makes you wonder why this isn't a huge, fully fleshed out franchise at this point. But maybe
especially
we'll get there.
with that post-credit sequence to go off of.
Yeah, the fucking Nick Fury walking into the magic shop scene.
Yes, this isn't the Marvel, cinematic universe for sure.
It could have been. That's why
Yeah.
Disney had to go and fucking buy Marvel and Star Wars, because this didn't work out for them.
I would have really like believed in this film, if they didn't have my man Jay Baruchel in it. I could have.
That's after reading the Amazon reviews, a very common feeling. There's just there was so many like angry old women that were like, there's a lot of things I liked about this movie, but that one fucking kid sucks. Who the fuck is this kid? So
Hell yeah, dude.
And
That rocks.
he was like, he's 27 playing a 20-year-old. I don't know that you need him to be.
When I looked up the age, I'm like, there's no fucking way this guy was in his late 20s. Are you fucking kidding me? He looks like a teenager. I'm like, no fucking way.
So yeah, I guess. Does anybody else have other things to toss in, or should we go to Dave's little summary?
I've already
Yeah,
forgotten
Dave, do you have a
everything.
summary of this film?
All right.
Well, let's hear it.
Hey, what the fuck are you kids doing on my fucking lawn? And don't look at me when I'm fucking talking to you.
Wow.
That's a pretty good summary.
That's a pretty good summary of this film, Dave.
There's some wizards arguing, and then
You
another
took
wizard
very
comes out and
significant
is like,
notes. I think
"Get off
Constance did
my
a better
bloody
job
lawn."
than Jess. So. I think you did a better job than Jess, honestly. You did a good job, man.
Yeah, it blows my mind that Jess like takes notes during the movies, and then Dave just fucking big dicks his way in here and shows that you don't even have to really watch him.
He just drops the red pill every fucking time.
Goddamn.
Me
Dave,
and
I
are,
think
like,
they
really
want
good
you to
hackers, right?
replace me.
You can hack. I mean, it's like hacking is like my life.
Well, on that note, I have some Amazon reviews from the angry drunken people who write Amazon reviews. I have one from Tess49, who writes, "Great movie. I have watched this movie several times and I never tire of it. Of course, it's fantasy, but at times I've wished I could have magical powers, the magical powers that Nicolas Cage had. Paybacks are surely a bitch sometimes." So Tess,
It's like a not sequitur.
There were so many like non-essential parts of that review.
basically the gist
you-
of it is, I want Nicolas Cage's powers so nobody could ever wrong me.
And I think that you need to go ahead and mark that review as helpful.
Yeah,
That's a very helpful review.
extremely. I too have sometimes wished I've had magical powers. So
Yeah,
to
me
hear
too.
from the perspective of a person like that,
If I had fucking magic powers, I'd never have to wipe again. So you're preaching to the choir, sister. John Lindsay writes, "Good rent, worth the money. What are you, 10 years to see this movie and did not disappoint?"
Wait.
So I'm not sure what the point is that he is trying to get across here, but
So what are 10 years?
what are you, 10 years to see this movie and did not disappoint? So it kind of starts like he's saying, "What are you, 10 years old? You rented The Sorcerer's Apprentice." But then he's like, "I waited forever to see this and I wasn't disappointed."
It's like a simple Wikipedia like version of that review. Oh my god.
Sarah Tubbs writes, "I don't want to write a review. I just want to rate." 4 stars.
Good review.
great review.
Also mark that as helpful.
It's very helpful.
Tiz herself writes, "Just right for a rainy afternoon. My grandson and I enjoyed this movie. He's 9 and I'm, quote, over 60, unquote.
She's been told that.
The plot was a bit
Listen, I don't know how
predictable,
old I am, but I think I'm over 60. I don't fucking know.
but it was entertaining enough for us to sit through without complaint." This lady says she has no complaints, but is clearly a little bit salty about being considered over 60.
Yeah, not happy with that demographic that she's part of now.
I have a review from the infamous user Navigating the Amazon, who writes, "Disappointing actor. The problem I had with this movie was the actor chosen to play the lead, Jay Baruchel. He could act, but he was very unappealing. The poor kid was like a cross between Wallace Shawn and Jeff Goldblum without the charm of either. As the movie went on, I became less and less involved in the story and more conscious of him as an actor. I wondered after a while why in the world he had been cast and kept in the role. Rent the film, but don't buy it if this sort of thing bothers you. I may never play this disc again.
Okay, first off, Wallace Shawn and Jeff Goldblum, you could have literally just said this is like a B-rate Michael Cera. Like, what the fuck do Wallace Shawn and Jeff Goldblum combined have anything to do with this kid? That doesn't even make sense.
Pure sex
I mean,
appeal.
honestly,
Pure
that's
sex
like
appeal,
a
yes.
very cool dude.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
Wallace Shawn
Wallace
is...
Shawn
yeah,
Those are two very cool dudes.
exactly.
And I can't like conflate them with Jay Baruchel at all.
Yeah.
I don't know how you.
I would be extremely charmed if it was Wallace Shawn and Jeff Goldblum, and
Yeah.
I was not.
pretty messed up to say that he ruined the movie and then turn around and compliment.
I mean, honestly, it would have been cool if they would have both played Nathan Fielder in this movie and would have just like did 50-50 scenes. Where the one scene you see Jeff Goldblum and the other scene you see Wallace Shawn.
Oh,
But he's the same character. That would
Save
have
that for
rocked.
the director's cut, baby.
Yeah.
The turtle top cut. I have a review from All About Love, who says, Sorcerer's Apprentice, worth seeing, but not mind-blowing. This is one of those movies you wouldn't mind seeing once, but that's it. It's fine for fantasy film buffs and Star Wars fans, but not your average moviegoer. You'll likely be disappointed. It's not the best work by Nicolas Cage, and the other protagonist leaves something to be desired. So if you're not a Star Wars fan, maybe read a fucking book and then go see this movie.
You know, I feel like that kind of wraps everything up. Do we even need to talk about the review?
I have one from Joseph Ignatowski, who says, I did not like this movie, was expecting the Walt Disney cartoon to become live action. It's not.
How are you going to stretch like a 15-minute sequence into a feature-length movie, though?
They should have just made a full live-action remake of Fantasia.
Oh, okay.
Because we've seen the success that they can have if they do full live-action remakes.
That is true.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a computer animated one. That's actually a really good idea.
Yeah. We call it live action, but the brooms are still technically not there.
Yeah.
As far as you're aware of.
I have a couple left. One from Lynn Sweet Irons, who says, will rate later. I've seen bits and pieces of this movie on TV, and it caught my interest right away, but I haven't watched it yet, so I can't rate it. Although I'm sure it will be everything that I hoped it would be. As always, the movies come through fine, and we're right on time for their delivery. 2 stars.
Why the fuck do you even bother writing a review at that point?
Yeah, well, there's so
That's
many.
a helpful review.
You know,
Thank you so much.
You know, and that's the thing. If you've listened to every episode of our show, which I'm sure you have, obviously, you'll learn that every single episode there's like 5 reviews from people like, I didn't see it, but it looks okay. 2 stars, 1 star. It's like, what the fuck?
Had to take my dog to the vet, so I haven't watched it. 1 star.
There's reviews that are literally that stupid.
And our final review. Oh, I'm sorry, Rod.
Oh, I was going to say, I definitely have seen Amazon reviews of just like, I haven't received my thing yet. 1 star.
Oh, there's a lot of those too.
Yeah, so when you're browsing those Amazon Prime movies, don't take the star rating into account at all, because it's mostly just disgruntled people who got like a broken jewel case.
Yeah.
The
On the other hand, there's probably just people happy they got their DVD.
I mean, that's 4 stars minimum if I get the DVD. And then I tack on another star if I like the movie.
Yeah.
Or if I had time to watch it. I guess. If I have time to watch it, that means it's pretty fucking good.
Yeah. If I like the movie and, you know what, I have time to watch it, that's a half a star each, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Love when a director makes a movie I have time for. Final review comes from Adam H., who says, again, no slipcover. It ships with no slipcover, although it is advertised with one. So Adam H. is out of coasters at his house and needs the slipcover for The Sorcerer's Apprentice.
What the fuck?
And what's the star review on that?
That's a 1 star.
Yeah.
It's false advertising, man.
Yeah, the picture has the
Jerry
slip
Bruckheimer
cover.
specifically false advertised to him.
More like Jerry Fuckheimer.
Yeah. I mean, you're putting this up in your case, and you need to be able to pick it out. You know.
Yeah,
You put it up in your DVD case.
and I don't want to just open the case and pop the disc out. I want to slide the case out, then pop it open.
It's a ritual, and it's important to my enjoyment of the film.
You know, slipcovers are cool, but remember those like little things you had to clip on the DVD that would like shut it? It's like those childproof things.
Yeah, the little clippies.
Yeah, like
that kept
honestly,
me out of Austin Powers.
Exactly. Honestly, those movies Or like those DVDs are more important than slipcovers in my opinion.
Yeah, that's true. Slipcover is just like a freaking bra. It's just in my way, baby. I'm trying to get to the action.
Yeah.
A
You wouldn't watch a
slipcover-
movie in a shower, right? Or you don't need a raincoat to get in the shower kind of thing.
You think there's a Slipknot cover band called Slipcover? Or
I hope so.
Yeah, slipcover.
it's very direct and to the point, but
Damn, that I think we should end or this movie on that note.
right. Well, yeah, we're gonna take like a short little break here, and then we'll be back to talk to you about the Croods. So stay tuned for that. Well, hey, welcome back. We're here to talk to you now about the movie The Croods. I'm gonna just start doing things right here. This movie came out in 2013. It's rated PG. Written and directed by the duo Kirk D'Amico and Chris Sanders.
The pimps who did Lilo and Stitch and How to Train Your Dragon, the Jay Baruchel film.
And I think
Oh,
one half
yeah.
of the director of this movie was the main bad guy in Kick-Ass, wasn't he?
I think his name was Dickless Cage.
Dave Lazowski.
I'm glad you
What?
picked up on that too, because I kept seeing the D'Amico and thinking, oh yeah, Frank D'Amico from Kick-Ass. But we did just cover that. But this was produced by Dreamworks. So we went from a Disney movie to a Dreamworks movie, the famous rivalry there.
This was almost the last DreamWorks movie, I
Really?
think.
No shit, really.
Yeah, because they were like pretty close to going under, and if this movie didn't do well, it would have been throw in the towel time.
And speaking of doing well, Jess, let's get to the box office numbers.
Oh yeah, so this had a budget between 135 and 175 million dollars. Apparently, there's 40 million dollars that's just up in the air. Maybe that lines some pockets. I don't know.
I feel like
But-
that was settlement money for the people who got molested during the production.
Probably.
By
But,
Emma Stone.
Box office gross
Just trying to cancel Emma Stone.
of $587 million. So this is a pretty big success.
Is this the highest grossing Nick Cage movie so far?
I think it might be. Well,
Oh, that you guys have talked about.
yeah, that we've talked about.
we talked
yes.
about
Okay.
Maybe National Treasure 2 could rival it. I don't know. But I don't recall what National Treasure 2 made. But yeah, that puts us at 21 out of 50 movies in the black. So
Yeah.
that's a
hell
solid 40%, baby.
Oh, I'm looking it up. National Treasure 2 made 459.2.
Okay, so about 100 million less than this. A
Yeah,
little.
not National Treasure 2, guys. Sorry.
Well, yeah. So from Rotten Tomatoes, this one got a 71% from critics, 77 from audiences. So everybody agrees
Respectable.
that this is about 3 out of 4 stars.
Yeah, probably the best caveman related thing that Nick Kroll is not in.
Yeah. I mean, it's honestly the best caveman thing we've ever talked about in the show, and Dave has never mentioned. So
Yeah, this actually is based off of one of Dave's favorite movies, the John
What?
Goodman Flintstones picture.
Yes.
Which is pretty much one of everybody's favorite movies.
Yeah, certainly.
And that's one with Rosie O'Donnell, right?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
she plays the rack of
Does she play
ribs.
Betty?
She plays the rack of ribs, yes. But she plays Betty too, yes.
I don't know. I actually
It
haven't
was-
seen that movie.
It's very much like an Eddie
thankfully.
Murphy
What the
thing where
fuck?
where she just played every character in a different costume.
Yeah, there's a scene where John Goodman sits down and it like pans out and she's the toilet.
But yeah, Mike, you got some trivia about this, and not just about Flintstones.
This is another one of those ones where the trivia is what they call not interesting. All I really had was that DreamWorks bit about how they really needed this to do well because this was following up Rise of the Guardians, which was a
That's the owl one, right?
big flop. No, that's the Gahul.
Oh,
That's
something.
Guardians of Gahul.
Yeah.
oh, okay.
Thank God Rod is here to back me up on that because they would have made fun of me if I didn't have someone on my side, Gahul wise.
I'll still make fun of you.
I mean, to me, that's Zack Snyder's best film.
Yeah, I mean, we need to see the Zack Snyder cut of Guardians of
The
Gahul.
Guardians of Gahul.
Yeah, I think that movie could have used a good 2 or 3 more hours to it.
I think every Zack Snyder movie needs at least 2 or 3 more hours. Let's be honest.
Oh yeah,
To really show off his cinematic genius.
This ended up being one of the 6th highest grossing film of the year up to that point. So DreamWorks, was able to frickin' line their greedy little stinky pockets.
Lovely.
Why are you talking about Katzenberg, Spielberg, and Geffen like that?
It's no the BFG. That's why I'm a BF.
It's no Shrek the Fourth.
Oh God.
I mean, hey, listen, Counting Crows got a lot of money from those bands or from those movies. Okay,
That's true. Did you hear that Shrek 5 is actually going to be streaming exclusively on those little TVs at the gas station?
yeah, gas station TV.
Yeah.
That would rock, honestly.
Gas station TV exclusive, Shrek 5.
If you fill up an
watch
entire,
It's time
those
for
30-second intervals
Shrek at
just
the
over and
pub.
over.
you have to like fill up like an entire like fucking like like battle station. You get to watch the entire movie.
If
$180,000 later.
If your Hummer limo is out of gas, pop that baby in, hit car wash, no, Shrek 5, yes, and you're on your way to a good time. So,
do you have to get premium or can you get unleaded?
you can get premium, but that's the unrated version.
I was just saying the premium is at the 1080p one.
Yeah.
But yeah,
What the fuck's this movie about?
I don't know.
so plot summary of the Croods. There is a family of cavemen called the Croods, and they are apparently the last family around, as all the others have died because it's an inhospitable prehistoric world. Emma Stone plays Eep Crood, a young cave woman who craves some excitement and is tired of the cave they live in. Her father, Nicolas Cage, is Grug Crood, a hyper-prepared dude with many strict rules to protect their safety.
Literally a reactionary figure.
Quite literally.
He's like, you need to be in fear of everything, and if you leave, that's when bad things happen.
Yeah.
I think he says in the movie, I hate change.
I hate change. He doesn't like new things. New is bad.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, like, you says Gerg is his name, right?
Grug.
Grug is very much like the social basis for fascism. Like, he really is.
Hey, you got to remember Grug because he makes so many jokes about things that rhyme with Grug.
That's true.
He invented the fucking hug, you pig.
Yeah. He invented drugs, too.
But so these rules include like avoiding all curiosity and new things. But yeah, the rest of her family are Ugga, her mother, Gran, her grandmother, Thunk, her brother, and Sandy, her very young sister. That is like the Scratch of this movie.
Mhm.
Yeah, and Thunk is kind of like the Cisco of the movie because that thunk. So I just had to get that out of my head so it wasn't trapped in there.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, if
We
you
all, of course, love Thunk, played by Clark Duke, one of our favorite actors.
yeah,
Oh yeah,
who I only remember from Kick-Ass and Sex Drive, I think is that the movie?
Those great movies.
Yeah, one of my favorite actors.
Everything comes back to Kick-Ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a big Dookie, which is what we call Clark Duke fans.
So late one night while the rest of the family is asleep in a pile, Emma Stone sees a light coming from the outside, and she's amazed by it, having never seen anything like it before because the Croods haven't discovered fire yet. But
Yeah, they're pretty fucking stupid and uncultured.
Yeah.
mhm.
Mhm.
So she chases after the light and finds Guy. That's his name, but he is also a guy. It's just a guy being a dude.
And that's the thing you'll learn is that every character in this movie has very deep, complex names.
Yeah, Guy is played by Ryan Reynolds. So this is what he was doing
Freaking
before
Deadpool,
Deadpool.
dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was kind of pissed. Almost didn't take this movie because there wasn't enough like fourth wall breaking.
Yeah.
But he did it anyway.
Yeah, Guy is like barely funny in the movie, which is pretty hard for my guy Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's really hard for him to be in a role where he can't take off his shirt or lean on his, sense of humor or his Green Lantern ring. So,
He gets a lot of clout for that Green Lantern ring.
oh yeah.
When she finds him, Stone demands that he makes more fire, but he's like, hey, we need to leave because I've seen the future and the world is going to end and this land is going to fall apart. And Emma Stone's like, hey, well, I can't go. So Ryan Reynolds gives her a bugle to call him if she needs him again. Then he runs off, and Cage finds Emma Stone and is just like absolutely pissed. He's like, why are you going out? It's dangerous. Stop doing new things. New bad. They really run that home. But yeah.
Yeah, new is bad.
Yeah. And he honestly, I think he believes that like Eep is dating a guy who's like, listen, there's 10 rules if you want to date my daughter.
1, I'll be there with a loaded shotgun. 2,
and 2, whatever you do to her, I'm going to do to you. And 3, if you kiss her, you kiss me too.
You kiss me first, so I know you're doing it good for her.
A lot of guys like that in Jess's area.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite tropes is the dad who's like super horny for whoever his daughter's bringing home.
Yes. So when she says she found a new person, the whole family is like freaked out by new things. They're like, no, this is bad. And they destroy the bugle he gave her. And pretty much immediately after that, the canyon starts to shatter and fall apart. And their lovely home and cave, is destroyed by falling rubble. But the collapsed canyon reveals a big forest and a set of mountains in the distance, and like a flying turtle.
Yeah, it's basically
the flying turtles they use a lot.
Yeah,
basically a big allegory for gentrification. If you smash the dirty cave, you can find the beautiful valley potential beneath it.
Yeah.
So.
And
for me, this was a really sad part of the movie because I was very upset that we lost all that beautiful crude art that they made.
Yeah,
that's truly priceless.
I mean, they like act like the Croods aren't creative, but they were making that crude art pretty damn good.
Yeah, honestly, they're really talented. This is to those who haven't watched the movie. This is pretty much just as bad as like when that Universal building burned down and we lost all those like Steven Seagal props.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From like
and we lost the masters of the best albums ever made.
Yeah. we lost all the masters to Under Siege 2 Dark Territory.
So like they're basically forced to enter the forest, much to the dismay of Nicolas Cage, to get away from like an owl cat thing that's been stalking them. And they're like amazed and terrified by all the crazy new creatures they're seeing, which include like a whale rhino and like a saber-toothed cat, some and very rainbow monkeys and piranha birds.
There's a couple ghouls in there.
And monkeys that just beat the fuck out of Nick Cage at one point.
Yeah, they beat the shit out of him. They enter a plain just beyond the forest, and they're about to be eaten by a swarm of those piranha birds I was talking about when Eep finds another bugle on the ground and just like blows into it, and that alerts Guy, who just comes running in to save them by scaring off these creatures with fire. So initially, Guy, Mr. Ryan Reynolds, Deadpool, he doesn't like the Croods. And he tries to get away from them. Sorry, I have to refer to every character by at least 3 different names just to confuse the listener.
It was actually really hard for me to remember any of the Croods' names.
Oh, yeah.
They're very basic, but they're like so like they're not like common English like names. Are like
they're all like grunting sounds and
they're just kind of hard.
I could not remember Eep's name the entire movie.
So, like, Deadpool doesn't like the Croods, and he tries to get away from them, but the family's like, no, you're not going anywhere. We need your fire. So, Guy's like, okay, like, I'll go with you, but we need to get to high ground because the end of the world is just beginning, and there's more of these earthquakes coming. So they set off towards, like, the tallest mountain they can see, and Cage is like, there'll be a cave there. We can get in a cave. He's very one-track minded, wants a cave.
He is a caveman, after all, so it's kind of where that comes
And to
from.
be fair,
Well,
people
he
accidentally
needs
call
his
him.
man cave, am I right?
People accidentally call him
baby.
Nick Cave a lot, so he's just
Yeah.
trying to go to his Nick Cave.
Yeah, because his son died. So
So that night, Deadpool shows them how to unput traps and cook their food with fire, make shoes, navigate past the dangerous animals. He's a smart person, knows how to handle himself and all this. And
And so he's less hunter-gatherer and more agricultural.
yeah.
Like trying to create complex societies just by like being like, hey, idiots,
Yeah.
do this.
he's less hunter-gatherer and more Hunter Biden. Am I right?
Yeah, I think the implication in this movie is that the Croods are like Neanderthals and he's like a Homo sapiens. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
The next stage of the live evolution.
Yeah.
Which kind of even makes sense because, like, Guy's human and the Croods are like cavemen, and most humans have at least some trace like Neanderthal DNA. So Guy was. Well, we'll get to that.
He
later.
got
we'll
with
get to that
every member of that family.
yeah, well, especially Grog a lot.
Oh yeah.
And Granny too.
As they continue on, they do see that the world seems to be falling apart behind them slowly. And they kind of like, I don't know, they go through a lot of trials and tribulations where like the ground's falling apart and they have to keep moving forward. And like Guy keeps helping them out. And Cage is like, no, I don't like what this guy is doing. And also he's trying to fuck my daughter. And I'm not cool with that. Guy is growing on them. Ryan Reynolds is growing on them. And
Van
this
Wilder.
what?
Van Wilder.
Yeah, Van Wilder.
Yeah, Van Wilder.
So yeah, should refer to him as Van Wilder for the rest of this.
Yeah. That'll be easy for everybody.
Like, as this goes on, the whole family is basically like, look, we want to follow Ryan Reynolds and not you anymore, Nicolas Cage, because you don't have any ideas. You're a big dumb dummy. And Cage gets super pissed and jealous about this and like tries to attack Ryan Reynolds, and just like chases after him and tries to beat his ass, but they both end up stuck in a tar pit that they accidentally run into.
Which we all every single like episode, there's two movies that have like one weird thing in common. Both these movies have Nick Cage at one point stuck in essentially a tar pit.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. I didn't mention that in the plot summary, but that did happen in Sorcerer's Apprentice. He got stuck in I think he said a Persian quick rug.
But it's essentially like a tar pit / quicksand.
Yeah.
So Nick Cage gets stuck in like a tar pit / quicksand in both of these movies at some point.
Relatable.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I've definitely been caught in some things that just keep sinking me down, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, my freaking aforementioned ex-wife.
Yeah.
Baby.
Freaking women, am I right?
God damn it. While they're stuck,
Can we edit in Rod just saying yes?
Yeah.
That was me.
No.
While they're stuck in the tar pit, Cage is like, well, I fucking hate you and I love my family. And then Guy's like, I had a family too. And they died. And they told me to follow my dreams in the future. And then Cage is like, this guy had a family too. I like that.
Yeah,
And
like, this guy had a lineage. Fuck yeah. Man, fuck yeah.
it's
He
kind of
actually
like
killed his whole family.
the
So maybe
Martha
slow
scene.
down.
Yeah, was he in the Itachi Uchiha? Like, what the fuck?
So after that, they're cool. They're tight. They're working together.
They're best bros.
And
They have their own like LeBron James handshake now.
They make a plan to get out of the tar by making a lady saber-toothed tiger puppet and like having an enamored saber-toothed tiger pulls them out of the tar.
It's the first ever
This
real
is a-
doll.
This is the second puppet that they make. though.
Yes, it's true. The
It is
first one they
true.
do to get a giant chicken that goes on a fire and they eat it all,
Mhm.
which is a very funny scene. I like that scene a lot.
Yeah, maybe I should have mentioned that before, but I was
Yeah.
trimming down the run.
This
I
movie
mean, it
was
is-
one of the biggest inspirations for Jeff Dunham. So
Oh, absolutely.
Now that they're all working together in a better team, they make it to the other side of the mountain where they see like a cloudy field and a giant sun, and they're like, we're finally here. We're going to make it into the beautiful world of tomorrow. Suddenly, the ground all around them collapses and the sun disappears under a cloud of dust, and they can't see where to go forward. It's almost like their path to the future has become clouded and they don't know what to do. It's like a big metaphor or something. And
Wow.
they're all like about to retreat back to the cave because like Guy's losing hope, but Cage is like, no, I learned a thing from you, Ryan Reynolds, and we need to continue on into the light through all the dust and shadows and continue on into the bright future. And one by one, Nicolas Cage throws them across the gap, where they land safely on the other side. And the last person is Emma Stone, and she and Nick Cage have a little heart-to-heart moment where Nick Cage invents the hug. And they make up and have a lovely father-daughter time. And
It's pretty fucked up that you have to wait till your child is like fully grown to invent the hug for her.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, talk about things that the Croods invent. There's one scene earlier where they're running around a field and set everything on fire. I believe they invented the gender reveal party there too.
So then he tosses her over and says, like, never be afraid, which is direct contradiction of everything he said before, which is always be afraid. I think legitimately at one point he said always be afraid. So
Yeah, he literally does say
But
that.
Yeah.
he
I think that's he's constantly trying to teach that lesson.
mhm.
Yeah. So
Fear of the outside and the outsiders, which once again, not a Nazi character, not a fascist archetype character.
Then he's pretty much trapped on the other side as the ground is collapsing beneath him. And he's sad, but he finds his way to a cave alone and manages to make some fire, having learned that from Ryan Reynolds. He like paints his family onto the wall. He makes more of that beautiful art that will again get destroyed. But then like a saber-tooth shows up, but it seems to be scared of the dark and the fact that the world is ending, and it likes his fire, and Nick Cage and the saber-tooth just kind of bond, and like they have a good time together.
yeah, it's super sweet. Like, if I was about to kill somebody, but then it was like the rapture, I would be like, let's chill.
Yeah.
And we'll be friends.
Yeah, what's the fucking point? Let's hang out.
Mhm.
Yeah. Why would I eat you when I could fucking cuddle you, dude?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Make it very platonic though, but romantic.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Well, I mean, usually for me, like the cuddling comes after eating someone.
oh, wow,
Bad joke.
That's
Never mind.
Damn.
that's
Talk
pretty.
about cannibal Jess over here.
Talk
The
about-
fuck?
It was an oral
Crude,
sex
am I
joke.
right?
And talk about a real Jessica Dahmer over here. Shit.
Yeah, Jess is fucked up and stupid.
I'm leaving the podcast, guys. I have
Whoa.
disappointed everyone. But they're bonding as the world falls apart, Cage and the Sabertooth, and then he comes up with an idea because he learned ideas from this Ryan Reynolds character. And he's like, what if I paint some tar onto this big old skeleton and then attract some birds onto it, which gets stuck in the tar, and then I ride on the skeleton across the gap. So he does that. And it works out. And he does that with the Sabertooth and several small animals that he saved along the way. And
Yeah, he picks up all the animals you saw in the movie.
Yeah.
yep, pretty much every
kind of like a
single one.
Noah's Ark figure.
No, yeah.
Yeah. It's just it is a very strange end.
It is a really strange end. Like I
I
don't
kinda
know
like
why
it though. I fuck with it.
It's a nice happy ending. I'm not really sure why they made the point of saving each animal because like that wasn't like a thing really discussed in the movie. But
Like I said,
that's cool.
this movie's basically is Noah's Ark, like a story of Noah's Ark if you think about it.
Yeah.
I'm glad I waited till yesterday to watch this because I'd be super fucking enraged if I had to wait 7 years for a sequel.
Yeah.
Uh,
But yeah, so
I do think there is a Netflix TV show.
Is there?
shit, we
I
got to go
think so.
deeper.
We gotta do a deep dive if this episode survives the vote.
But yeah, so they say a beautiful lagoon. They all set out towards it and have a happy new life together. And the credits roll with like an Owl City song. I think was that Owl City? It sounded like him.
Just like it. Every time it's like One Republic, Owl City. Like, just fucking come on. Let's get some
Yeah,
interesting
I
music
mean-
in the soundtrack.
That's got to be Owl City.
It had to be.
I literally only
Yeah.
heard that one Owl City song, like Fireflies or whatever the fuck that song is called.
Damn, that
Oh,
song
I think
rules.
that's the
Owl-
only one most people heard. But
Owl City actually does have a song in Guardians of Gahul.
Wait,
Oh
really?
shit!
How
Oh,
could they
shit.
not?
Yeah, that's true.
You're blowing my fucking mind.
Well,
here.
they actually they wanted to name their band Gahul City, but for legal reasons could not.
I think well, there's that it was the ex-mayor of New York, right?
Yeah,
Owl City. Oh,
Rudy Giuliani.
Rudy
Giuliani.
Giuliani.
But yeah, so that's the whole plot summary I got here. What do people think about this movie?
You know, I kind of like it. I can't say it's my favorite movie of all time, but honestly, the CG was pretty good. I thought the plot was very basic and was pretty like well tread stuff. Like, I mean, it's basically like a Noah's Ark story, to be honest. But still, like it's not overly long. It's kind of interesting enough, and Nick Cage did a very good voice work job. I especially love when Nick Cage does his mini freakouts as Grug, because he'll do like mini freakouts.
Well, yeah, his first scene in the movie was just like him screaming, which is like, okay, I understand why we cast Nicolas Cage.
So, and actually, there's another freak out in the movie where he's being chased by monsters. Like, oh, he's trying to kill me, man.
I will say, this is one of those movies that, it makes me want to go out and have a bunch of kids so I can show it to them.
Yeah. I want to have a bunch of kids where we can live in a cave and be like, outside scary.
Yeah, I mean, well, I would show them the first half before they learn their lesson.
Yeah.
But this is probably one of my favorite movies ever made. And I will say, of all the Nicolas Cage animated movies that we've watched, this is pretty much the one where he has like an actual role in it beyond like a cameo character.
Yeah,
That's true.
Because the one animated movie I've seen of Nick Cage had literally 30 seconds of Nick Cage in it.
Yeah,
the Teen Titans movie.
So
yeah, he had a slightly bigger role in Astro Boy, but this is
you know what? You're right. Forget about Astro Boy.
Well, he wasn't in Astro Boy enough, except for when he stopped loving his son, and then he kind of disappears for a while.
Yes,
but
and essentially helps enable an extremely authoritarian and classist society.
Yeah,
Yes.
which is all good for me.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude, rocks.
It was nice to see Nicolas Cage pulling his weight in this movie, and being a big fucking sexy caveman.
And there's one thing I noted, especially watching the movie early on, and I noticed they didn't really do this as the movie went on, but like the first 15 minutes, there's like 3 upskirt shots of Eep.
Wait, really?
Yeah, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, not like they're not like zooming in, like it's not like Japan or something, but like they'll pan the camera to where she's like walking up a cliff, and I'm like, why did you have to pan to that angle? Like,
Animators
really
are
weird.
perverts usually, but
You said animators are perverts?
Mhm.
I agree. That's true. Everyone in Hollywood's a pervert, though.
What's more innocent, going to the mall and taking creep shots, or fucking sitting down at a desk and animating your own? So.
I don't know. It's a good question, honestly.
But yeah, I thought this was a pretty good movie, solid movie. I think the animation's quite nice, and I really like the creative creature design. Like, I didn't talk about it too much in here, but the animals are pretty cool.
The colors are also very vibrant too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes me wish I was fucking on mushrooms for this one, but I wasn't this time, so.
Is that a common thing
now
for Nick
you
Cage?
know for next time.
Yeah. Is that a common thing when you watch Nick Cage animated movies?
Oh, well, if I know there's going to be a lot of bright colors in a movie, I want to freaking elevate those colors, baby. Fucking blast them in my skull.
Yeah, and I definitely agree. This is, I think this was Cage's best voice acting performance yet that we've seen on the show.
Yeah, I
Like,
agree.
he actually did a good, solid job, did a lot of work here, and he put in a lot more effort. Because a lot of the time when he's doing voice acting, I feel like he's not really putting much inflection in what he's doing in the other ones. And then maybe it's just because he's just in a tiny cameo, and here he's in a lead role, so he had to work it more. But
yeah,
he did a good job here.
Well, his best role, to be honest, is when he played the mole in G-Force. That was the best voice acting role.
That was a fucking killer movie, too. So.
You put so much effort into that.
All I know for sure is that, if I'm trying to take some girl out and I fucking pull up and her dad is Nicolas Cage, man, I'm not gonna do anything bad on her.
Yeah.
I'm gonna kiss her good.
If your dad
on the
drives
right
up and
place.
he was the guy that wrote the script for the Gladiator 2 that never came into fruition, you're gonna have a good time.
Yeah. The only thing this movie is really missing is a little bit of Pauly Shore action. I don't know.
Yeah.
We're missing a lot of Fred Durst too.
Yeah, a fucking Fred Durst cameo would have been solid.
Yeah, that would have really made it. I will say there's I don't know. I mean, there's some pretty traditional gender and family roles in this movie, but that happens in most kids' movies. That's just a thing.
We love heteronormativity on this show.
We love heteronormativity, we love the nuclear family, and we love reactionary social values.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. But
those are all the pillars of Nick Cage. So.
Yeah.
I mean, really though, those are very common tropes in Nick Cage movies.
Outside bad, woman property. all that
Capitalism really good.
Well, it's Nicolas Cage. Why not?
Yeah.
Thanks,
Thanks, Dave.
babe.
I mean, when you come from like Hollywood royalty, I think you have a very interesting view of the world.
Yeah,
True.
that's true. You don't fucking grow up watching Marlon Brando eat a bunch of deep dish pizzas and then turn out to be some well-adjusted individual. I don't know what his childhood was like. That's just how I picture it.
Well, that's the thing is that Nick Cage, he's born in California, but he wasn't able to see California without Marlon Brando's eyes.
Gotta get a lot of Slipknot references in this one.
I have to reference new metal no matter what.
Good lord.
But yeah. So, anybody else got any thoughts to throw in here?
I'd be interested to see if this movie survives the vote. What the sequel will look like, because I'd like to see what the sequel looks like.
Well, we will have to see the sequel eventually.
Is
Because
Nick
Nick
Cage
Cage
in
is
that
going to
one?
be in it. Yeah.
Yeah, he's in it.
We love it.
Yeah, and I would like
Everybody's returning.
Mhm.
sick. I would like Netflix to just find any way to pay us for talking about this. That would be pretty cool. I'll settle for 10,000.
By the way, did the Ringer or Garfield food truck ever get back to him?
No, the Rod, if you're familiar with the app Garfield food truck, I know you like to stream video games. That's pretty much the best one. But before you go ahead and say, "Hey, this Promeneo Studios is a real good developer," consider the fact that they don't pay people for advertising. So.
Yeah, they explicitly told us they weren't going to pay us for advertising them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they try to say that they like don't have money, but I'm over here, paying $5 to get a lasagna to drop. So whatever. Yeah. Any other thoughts?
No, I don't think I have anything else left to say on this one. But
Just a fine movie.
yeah, a fine, solid flick.
Yeah, good sexy movie. Dave, what do you think?
Yeah, do you have a summary, Dave, of the Croods? Let's hear it.
Hey, bro, what's up, man? I got this idea. And, like, what it is that we, like, go around the world, like, me and you, and we just, like, hack. Me and you are, like, really good hackers, right?
We're
We can hack. We, like, could make money off of this or something, like.
They do kind of invent hacking.
Yeah,
in this movie.
the hack was invented right after the hug. I
It's
believe.
like, hacking is, like, my life.
Yeah.
Yeah, flying the whale bones across the I don't know.
Yeah,
the
that was like
chasm or
the
whatever.
original life hack.
That's basically a life hack.
That was basically the first step towards like inventing a listicle about life hacks.
Hack.
Well,
Essentially, those birds are first computer, I think.
Mm-hmm.
The piranha birds are first computer, so.
yeah, not a lot of people know this, but the dinosaurs evolved into birds, which evolved into computers.
It's like, hacking is, like, my life.
All right, I guess with that, then we can just move on to the Amazon reviews from Mike.
Yeah, I got some good Amazon reviews. As always, lots of angry parents. I'm going to read my own review first. Not enough fart jokes in this one. For a movie called The Croods,
I was expecting a little more crude humor.
let me get some toots, baby.
Yeah, I agree.
I have a review from T Sand, who writes, Nicolas Cage at his finest, the greatest character actor of our generation, has done it again. From simple father to ultimate hero, the Cage delivers a moving performance every father can relate to. Bravo, sir. Bravo.
To be fair, every father in America does teach their children that new things are bad and to fear everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as far as
Very
like,
common father trait.
Yeah.
as far as like fatherly content goes, I'm fucking jamming Cats in the Cradle and this movie back to back all the time. So
Hell yes.
I have a review from Noah83C who says, cute movie. I liked the movie even though I don't agree with the evolutionary assumptions behind it.
Oh, yes! Yes! We need some creationists here.
But hey, evolutionary theory makes for good creative cartoons and movies. think Star Trek, Star Wars, etc.
How the fuck is evolution involved in Star Wars?
Well,
I can maybe
Yes.
understand the Star
No,
Trek.
to be fair, Star Wars was a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
I
so-
suppose, yeah.
Yeah, and we evolved from.
And eventually, humans had to evolve into cavemen, and then another galaxy had to be like super sorcerers, like technology people.
Yeah, like when people say that we came from frogs or whatever, Jar Jar Binks is the frog.
Yeah.
I have a degree. Fuck.
You have a
I
degree
have
in Amazon
I'm
reviewing?
gonna kill myself. I have a review from AMC and Two Boys, who says,
Oh wait, the people who helped produce the Walking Dead show
yeah, and then Two Boys.
and Two Boys. Okay.
And they write, dun dun dun. The boys love this movie. It works well for long drives in town.
Yeah. And to be fair, when they mean the boys, they mean the was it the Netflix show or is that
It's
It's an
Amazon
Amazon show.
Prime.
Amazon Prime show? Yes,
you
the boys.
Stupid bitch.
Yeah, I like to think this is just a guy and his two friends. It's like me and the boys.
Yeah, me and the boys, when we drive around town, we watch the Croods.
We're gonna
and my
drive around
DVD.
town, check out those ice cream prices, and watch the Croods. I have a review from might be one of us, username Old Dirty Priest, who says, "Good movie. I think I'm going to buy the physical copy instead." Paying all the time. So this guy has evidently rented this movie a bunch and is fucking sick of it.
Sick of paying.
Does this guy have a Croods rent-to-own program? Is that what's going on?
Yeah.
If
His like Croods rental budget is getting out of hand.
I downloaded a Truebill on my phone, and there's just two categories: groceries and cruise. So
It's like that drill tweet. Like $300 on bills. Like
this is exactly that.
Yeah,
tweet.
$3,600 on
Yeah.
Croods every month. I was literally thinking that exact same thing when you mentioned it.
I have a review from Danny Dare, who says, "Dumb, violent, boring."
Oh man.
If you want your little, I don't know if they're referring to their child or their sexual partner.
That's exactly what I was
That was
thinking.
exactly what I was thinking too.
If you want your little to see rocks smashed into people's faces, an elderly woman pushed around, a girl beating up a boy because she feels like it, and fighting every 3 minutes, then this is the movie for you. If a confluence of violence isn't your thing, I'd look elsewhere and skip this drivel. So
No, that's from Danny Dare, correct?
yeah,
I'd rather
not
listen to
very
Danny Filth's opinions on.
not very daring of you, Danny.
I mean, to be fair, he didn't. He was very
Um,
daring when he mentioned his kink.
Yes, that's true.
On Amazon reviews, can you like look at the other things people review? I get so curious about people.
Well,
And
to
I've
be
never really done that.
I think one time when we were going through the World Trade Center, like the movie reviews, there was one person who was a 9/11 truther, and the only other thing they watched was Loose Change, or they reviewed
Yeah.
Loose Change.
Sometimes my favorite thing is when they give you a window into who this person is. Like last week when I read a review for G-Force, and it was written by an old lady who writes about coloring a lot. She's a top contributor. It's fun to stalk these people if you can, because truly the just bottom of the barrel human beings writing reviews on
And by the way, it's in real life and online.
in real life and online, but specifically on Amazon because so many people use it. They just decide to ruin my life. I have one last review, and I think you folks are going to like this one. It's from Ian D, who says, "Glad I rented rather than buying." And Ian D writes, "I found this movie interesting.
Oh.
I think I thought it was a Disney production, and so could count on a tale centering on a sexily strong female protagonist.
Oh my god.
And the Croods does start out looking that way, but after some eyebrow-raisingly sexy shots of Eep, the aforementioned would-be strong and sexy female protagonist,
Why is this?
the story kind of diffuses into a tale about family? Kind of. but it diffuses too much for me to be quite sure of what it's about exactly, and what's going on half the time. A lot of the action didn't make sense to me, and our sexy, capable female winds up not being a protagonist, but just one of the characters in the mix of characters, none of whom are particularly compelling. And over all of it, a glaze that kind of mimics Disney, but is much more saccharine. The songs, the reactions, and facial expressions, they're all too over-the-top sweet for me. It's a shame because Eep is, well, kind of wildly sexy at the outset. I mean, the camera loves her body more than is probably appropriate for the kids'
I told
movie.
you I wasn't the only one who noticed the upskirt shots!
And I'm not one to ever say no to female sexiness. But when I thought about this movie afterwards, I felt like I had been kind of duped. Lured into a mediocre story by a sexy red-headed carrot on a stick. Who then, as I say, kind of disappeared into the mix instead of being the focus of the story, as I would have liked her to be. And not just because she's sexy, but because I love stories that focus on strong, capable female protagonists. This doesn't wind up being one. And that, along with the confusing story and action and excessive sweetness, left me sure I won't watch the Croods again.
Wow.
Oh yeah,
Thanks, Andy.
that person was furiously masturbating while writing that fucking review.
What the fuck?
I told you though, I wasn't. When I noticed the upskirt shots, I'm like, someone else has to have noticed that, right? But I feel bad that the only other person who noticed that was the person who wrote the review from federal prison.
See, one of the biggest mistakes.
Please, you got to arrest this man.
E&D, thanks for not providing your full last name. That was probably smart.
We've made a joke about another reviewer who, like, after writing that review, died in a hail of gunfire because they found their stash of bodies somewhere. That's this guy too,
For sure.
It's probably the same fucking guy who wrote that kick-ass review.
But it's a very common mistake in filmmaking to animate a character who is stupid, dumb, sexy, and then not, fully use them to help me get off my little stinky load.
To be fair,
Yeah.
she is kind of dummy thick. So
I think sexy is the most used word in that entire review.
Yeah.
It's so fucking... why is he so turned on by this, like, Neanderthal?
well, clearly the director was because they did so many upskirt shots in the beginning.
Well, you gotta admit she's pretty fine.
Oh my god!
It's just... and also...
She absolutely is fine, which is true, but...
Yeah.
And pretty smart to pick an era where she couldn't wear socks or shoes.
Well, they did force her to wear shoes at one point, and she didn't really. I mean, she kind of liked them, but I don't think she really liked them that much.
Yeah, she kept saying like, "I want my feet to be stinky and dirty. Come look at my stinky, dirty fucking dogs, and they're barking."
Yeah, and Quentin Tarantino was like,
I also like that he says this movie is more saccharine than a typical Disney movie. I don't know.
I don't agree with really that much at all.
I know.
Well, I mean, sometimes it's hard to pay attention to what the actual message of a Disney movie is because they're so sexy.
Yeah.
To be fair, it is sometimes hard to pay attention to the plot when you're just cranking your dick.
Yeah.
I feel like this guy has just spent hours like spanking it to Pocahontas and like, God.
Now, to be fair, we're not talking about the Disney movie. We're talking about to the actual figure Pocahontas when she was like 12 years old.
Oh God.
Yeah.
I'm looking this up. So Eep Crude was, of course, 19. So I feel a little bit less creeped out about this.
Okay.
Yeah, to be fair, the reviewer is like at least double that age.
Actually, so I did take I should share this with you guys, but the picture of the man who wrote this review is troubling.
If the review, talking about the literal picture or like the picture into their mind palace?
Both.
Okay.
If the review itself wasn't troubling enough, all I really remember taking note of is it's exactly the kind of guy that you would think would write this review. So good for E&D.
Wait, did you save it? You can send it in the Discord.
I'll find it and I'll drop it in the Discord because this you're gonna want to keep your eye out on this guy. He'll probably be on the news.
Well, I was gonna say we don't really
Yeah.
have to because if he moves near us, he'll have to introduce himself to us when he moves next door.
Yeah. I mean, this is the top Amazon reviewer. You're gonna want to follow stuff.
Yeah, I mean, who knows what atrocities E&D has committed on Amazon? I plan to uncover them. So
it's Ian D, like the name Ian, and
yeah,
then
and the letter D.
Okay.
I'm so excited to look this up, and they've only reviewed like fucking lowly hentai or something.
Oh, by the way, that was a 3-star review. So.
What? Dude used the
Yeah,
word
that-
sexy so many times.
I clicked on his profile. He's a independent contractor in upstate New York. I should probably not be doxing E&D, but you know what?
How many independent contractors from New York literally listen to this show? You know, you gotta fucking.
Here, I'll drop his picture in Discord.
Oh
That's
my
E&D.
No, that's not E&D.
Oh my god!
know.
Okay.
What?
I'm looking at it right now. That looks about the age I expected.
Yeah.
This man is a silver fox.
His Amazon bio is you can tell a lot more about a person by what they say about others than by what others say about them.
Yes, that is very true, E&D.
Yes, Ian, and
Oh,
we got a little window
D&D.
into you.
Oh my god, that's incredible. That's my favorite Amazon review I've ever heard on the show. That rips.
Yeah, this is my favorite Amazon review that wasn't, like super racist.
Okay, yes, that's true. Yes.
Upstate New Yorkers, be on the lookout. I guess we got nothing left but to get to the vote.
Yeah,
that was very climactic. That was great.
We'll just move. I was sorry. I was reading more of his profile. But
You can see all of his reviews, which include shirts and noise canceling headphones that didn't cancel noise by the sound of his review.
But yeah, so going out of the vote, Rod, I don't know if you've listened to the show at all, but usually what we do is like count down 3, 2, 1, and then we all in unison say what we're voting for.
And then we spend 10 more minutes clarifying what we all said because we spoke over each other.
Yes.
Yes.
And also, Dave does the
Okay.
countdown every time. So Dave,
What?
do you want to do the countdown?
What?
I said, Dave, do you want to do the countdown? Fuck it. Let's just do the countdown. All right, so Jess, you want to start?
Yeah, I'll just I'll do the countdown. 3, 2, 1. The Croods.
Hack.
You said the Croods too?
Yeah.
By unanimous,
Yeah,
that's like the
Croods.
first unanimous vote with a guest we've had in a long time.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's truly an easy choice.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And to be fair, I didn't really want to say what my vote was before, like earlier when we were talking about it when I first arrived here, because I didn't want to give all my secrets away.
Call
Yeah,
up.
when I was watching The Sorcerer's Apprentice, my girlfriend said to me, my brother used to watch this movie over and over and over again when he was a kid. And I said, well, now I understand why he is that way. Because I would very much like to not have to sit through that again.
Yes.
Yeah,
I'd like to talk about the sequel the next time we review this movie too. So
I will say I would like to see a little bit more Jay Baruchel as Mickey, if we could get him in like the animated series or on a Disney Plus
yeah.
exclusive.
It's a role he's meant for.
yes,
Yeah, he,
do a Red Tube exclusive.
if he's not being a little twerp in a Red Tube exclusive, let's hear him be Mickey Mouse.
To be fair, I did see a guy that looked like this guy in a movie on a Pornhub video who's getting fucked by Amazon woman, so that was kind of funny.
And we'll drop that in the Discord too.
We'll jump into Discord, yeah. I mean, we've already
Yeah.
talked about porn enough on this show. I've always started the discussion on that, would you believe it?
But yeah, yeah, I don't know. The Sorcerer's Apprentice was, it was a little too long. The plot was convoluted. It was kind of annoying. And it did have some cool scenes. It's not the worst thing we've seen on this show, but
Yeah.
Oh,
I
not
did
by
enjoy
a
it.
lot.
And clearly the less sexy of the two films.
Yes.
Yeah, to be fair, I do believe,
Yeah.
though, that Sorcerer's Apprentice is the only movie that we've watched that actually does drop the word sexy in it at one point.
Wow, I don't remember.
There's
that.
literally a line where they said, you're sexy or something. I'm like, this is a PG movie. What the fuck, Disney?
Well,
Yeah,
the Croods was
damn.
PG, but that didn't stop E&D.
Yeah, it's not B&D from honking off to those upskirt shots I mentioned when we were talking about the synopsis.
But yeah, so I guess that kind of wraps everything up here. So let's. Anybody got any things to plug?
Yeah, Rod. If you don't listen
Oh,
to
yeah.
American Arts and Culture Review, it's a very, very funny podcast. It's one of the few that I make the time to listen to. So go check that out. Is there anything else you'd like to plug, Rod?
Just my Twitch, I guess. If you want to watch me play video games, or I mean, sometimes I just eat food on it.
Ooh.
You can watch me at twitch.tv/Rodney Berry. I'm there hanging out all the time.
Cool.
Yeah,
That's all I got.
Now, to be fair, talk about food. Are you talking about like mukbang food, or just like, hey, I found a cool snack kind of food?
How many mukbangs you
I
doing?
usually eat like a whole meal, but it is kind of like a mukbang, but it's not. I don't like do like the smacking that I think a mukbang would.
Yeah, you're not doing
You know
like
what I mean?
nickel
Like, it's-
avocado stuff. I hope.
Yeah, I'm like not like doing like my mouth isn't mic special, so you can hear every chew or whatever. It's mostly just like hanging out and eating,
Okay, that rocks. Honestly, I'm
and
down
I
for that.
talk to chat. Yeah, and I just talk to chat and stuff. It's
Hell yeah.
it's
Sounds
fun.
like a good
I
time.
found that people like that more than me playing video games for the most part. So,
Do you have a feeder community?
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
I'd love to watch you play video games, Rod, but you don't have the cleavage to cut it. So maybe work on that department.
I mean, that's the
That
thing.
would help.
When I talk about streamers, like Pokimane and then you are very closely after that. But you just don't have the cleavage enough, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean,
I got some pills that can
I
help
wish
you.
I wish I was a hot streamer.
Well, yeah, check out the podcast, check out the Twitch, and follow Rod on Twitter. Also, he's very funny and talks about the Green Lantern, which I appreciate.
Hell yeah.
I post a lot. Yeah, I'm a big time poster. That's for sure.
Oh, what is your Twitter?
It's just Rodney_Berry.
Okay.
Yeah. The real OGs know.
Yeah. Now we're talking about like berry peppers or berry like the fruit berry.
It's like the fruit berry.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Of course, I had to mention Barry Peppers. He's my favorite actor.
Well, thanks so much for
And I had
coming
to
on,
mention
Rod.
Brian Pepper's my favorite dead sex offender.
We're going out strong.
Well, yeah. Thank you for coming on, Rod. This was really fun.
It was
Absolutely.
great. I had a great time.
Yeah, it was cool
Hopefully, I
meeting
can. Maybe I'll get into the next round.
Hell
yes.
yeah. Well,
If you guys ever need another one,
hey, we'll have you on every fucking week if
If
you
we
want.
can, yeah.
So,
I was gonna say like was it oh God, who the fuck is that rapper's like another one?
another one. I believe
DJ
that is
DJ
DJ
Khaled.
Khaled.
DJ Khaled.
But yeah.
Uh,
So join us next time. We're going to be going through the Ant Bully and the Weatherman. So maybe check out those two movies if you want.
And go beat the shit out of some ants.
Yeah, and I believe the Weatherman is about a specific man in the Weather Underground.
Oh, yes. I don't know. That went over my head. I'm just thinking about the Velvet Underground now.
Oh, I was thinking about the left wing terrorist group, the Weather Underground.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah, we'll see you next time for that.
All right.
oh man,
Bye.
Talk about the
Can't
Port
believe
Huron
he
statement
looks-
at one point. Bye.
bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh yeah! Cage fight! Here goes Cage!
This has been a Solid Work production.
Solid work. Solid work. Solid work. Hey, solid work.